One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a happy freaking Wednesday, hump day, everybody. Let's get it. Today is October 15th, 2025, and ladies and gentlemen, it is the 15th day of the government shutdown, as you guys know. Also, Hegseth participates in NATO meetings today, as well as Israel-Hamas latest. So the way that we have this lined up for this morning, because there is a huge morning in front of us here, we're going to be talking about a couple of things that happened yesterday. Obviously, I wasn't streaming 12 hours ago. I was streaming 24 hours ago. So there's some things that are from yesterday that are important that we don't skip over. So this is the way the morning is going to rock with us this morning. ICE clears out neighborhood in Chicago, and we're going to definitely see some protests with that. And then we got an airport. Airports refused to play Noam video blaming Democrats for the shutdown. Interesting. Very, very interesting that there is even any type of video doing any type of blaming on each side. I don't think they should do that. Visas revoked over Charlie Kirk comments, and that happened yesterday as well. So that's going to be interesting. One last thing that happened yesterday as well is bomb threat forces hospital to evacuate in Washington State. And then one thing that we also did yesterday is there was another one of those Venezuela drug boats that got pwned, I guess you could say. So reactions after U.S. kills 6 in strike on alleged drug boat, and this was yesterday. And then we have L.A. County approves emergency declaration over ICE raids, and then IDF over there in Israel, body released by Hamas, not missing hostages. Hostage. I'm not really sure what that means in the title, Hamas not missing hostage. I really don't know what that means. And then today we have Hegseth NATO remarks, firepower coming for Ukraine. And that's basically what our morning is looking like right now. Before we get into it, make sure you guys hit that like button. It goes a long freaking way, and it's the number one metric of all of YouTube. Just so you guys know, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because it's also free. But please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to have these freaking lights on and allows us to stay on the airs because of you guys becoming members and staying members, man. So thank you. Little side note, my Instagram is right here at BallValveTV. Go ahead and follow that. It's a great place where I post all behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as Millennial Food Time, breaking news, all that great shit. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server. Make sure you guys go into the link down below of every single video. And of course, there is the invite link for the Discord. Make sure you guys join up on that. Last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, membership signups are of course going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to, and I'll read them out like a total super chat. like on YouTube, and I have my email up. So if anything comes through, I will absolutely get right to it. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen.
Denied.
Shit. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their hump day morning so far. Great to see everyone in the building. Let's see, we got Gary, we got Mountain Woman, we got Steve Easy, we got Liquored Up with Poncho, yes sir, and we got Steve Posey right there. We got SST in the building. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Always appreciate you. We got Miss Lotus over there in Florida as well. Good to see you as well. We got Sterling Wheel as well as Crystal. Great to see you this morning, Crystal. Scrolling down, making sure I'm not skipping anything. We got Tiffany Lance in the building as well. Good morning to you. We're scrolling, and let's see. Who says my cash is hard earned? Someone's wearing it. Oh, yeah, no, definitely not. No one over here is wearing a fucking wire. All right, dude. I guess maybe my headphones, I'm wearing a wire like that, but yeah, it's not a recording wire. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's go and get right into it. This is the very first story of the morning. ICE clears out neighborhood in Chicago. Now, we're going to see probably a lot of pushback in this, but we're going to skip through it. We're not going to just listen to the whole 11 minutes of this. We're going to skip through a lot of today's things if they're kind of just monotonous, same thing over and over again. Yeah, we just run right through that bitch. Anyways.
We do have some breaking news that takes us out to
Pablo.
Chicago. And for more
Good
on
morning.
that, we're going to head over to our Fox 32 Chicago.
And Agrillipus, yes, sir. Happy hump day to all you legends. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Helps out the show immensely. Thank you,
team,
guys.
where there is a helicopter over the scene
Prez.
where an ICE vehicle collided with another vehicle, and that has led to some chaos right there. I'm Stephanie Quinu. You are watching live now from Fox. Christy Mattino, my colleague, will carry our coverage in just a bit.
There's such a contention. So sometimes they do go in to the police, the district office there to the police. And in the past, that's what they had been doing. I don't know that they're still doing this because this has gotten so contentious. But they would go in and just kind of inform local police, hey, we're going to go to 105th and Avenue N. There's something.
Yeah, you wonder, had someone...
Shit. This is going to be, I can already tell there's going to be a lot of pushback on this right here. We got Hook Dog in the building as well. Good morning to you, kind sir, as well as Papa Penguin. Yes, sir. Great to see you guys.
Were there people leaking where they were going? They were fearing for their safety, and that's why?
As bad as a relationship is between public officials and the federal government right now, they have maintained somewhat of a dialogue with the police, and Snelling has mentioned that. Again, just going...
Look at these Mexican flag. I could see right here, there's some Mexican flag here. You've got this car that's just out here in the middle of the street, just blocking traffic. These guys are dickheads, bro.
And in informing them, we're going to be here just so you know, just so you're informed. We know we can't, per the law, you can't come help us, raid a house. But you should know for public safety purposes where we're at. And Snelling has said that they've still kept that dialogue and that communication. As you see, police clearly are there. I can attempt here to get some further clarification from the police department.
Yeah, why don't you...
So this is East Side Chicago.
Try to do that, and then I'm just going to give people
in the burbs
a lay of the land who might just be joining us. So around 12:28-ish this afternoon, we got a tip via Skyfox that there was some sort of federal agent activity in the East Side neighborhood. That is in the southeast side of the city, very close to the Indiana state line. This is 104th and Avenue N. And so we were able to zoom in on the scene, and we witnessed at least 50 federal agents, including ICE, maybe Border Patrol, on the scene there. They were blocking. There we are. We're showing you video.
Oh, wow.
Now, because the scene appears to have just been cleared. But this
shit.
This is what we witnessed, and we saw them running after people.
I think they're getting popped at right there. Bean bags or pepper balls or something like that at that point.
In the neighborhood. We'd heard this all began with some type of car accident. We don't know if maybe those federal agents were in pursuit of someone. And that's how it began. But you see a lot of people there wearing dark clothing, just running and scattering. And then those agents blocked off about a block radius of...
Yeah, just so you know, East and North Side are somewhat decent Chicago land. But you go into South Side or West Side,
this particular neighborhood, this East Side neighborhood. And
what's up, Mark? Good morning.
They deployed several times pepper balls to kind of disperse the crowd. We saw Chicago police officers...
I called it. It was pepper balls.
Approach as well. And then soon after that, that's when those pepper balls were deployed. And now the scene looks pretty clear. Those about 5, 6 SUVs that were there that we assume were being driven by federal agents left. The Chicago police left. This is what the scene looks like right now at 105th and Avenue N. Looks like some debris in the roadway, but boy, Paris.
And look at that. There's some sort of tow truck that just pulled up hot, by the way. He came in hot, and I'm surprised that nobody said that shit in the helicopter there, or the reporter.
There were quite a few protesters that gathered at that scene very quickly.
Yeah, and you would imagine because of the Hispanic Latino population on the southeast side that there would be undocumented immigrants in that population, or perhaps asylum seekers and clearly neighborhood residents coming out as they have in every
I bet you that did suck, though. I bet you that did suck, Crystal.
neighborhood that ICE has come to. Rogers Park, Lincoln Square, Albany Park. I mean, we got dispatches from Kenilworth. I mean, so it's been, it's been all manner of it, all across the region, all manner of neighborhood. And ICE and DHS has been very clear that they want a show of force. They've videotaped, they've filmed,
of course,
everything that they've done. They put them out on social media videos,
as they should.
Really kind of sending a message that they are here and they believe they have jurisdiction to kind of go into these neighborhoods and conduct these raids. But again, a bunch of court rulings have kind of shackled them a little bit. If they're following them, again, with deploying tear gas, you have to give 2 warnings.
Like, I look at these people that are riding around on scooters and all these motherfuckers that are just off on the side. It's like, why don't you just go home? Don't you have something better to fucking do with your life other than be out in these fucking terrible ass streets protesting something that is legally happening? I just really don't understand the mindset of this shit. So let's skip ahead a little bit here. They're kind of just showing these loiterers. These guys are just loitering at this point. You know what I mean? All right, we're skipping ahead. Let's see what's happening.
And you're not
going
to cooperate, then we have to go into neighborhoods. You can avoid this by
just, I got a little boo-boo on my knee. So everyone's going to film. Got this chick right here filming this whole interaction. This guy's giving aid,
cooperating and getting rid of those sanctuary protections.
Let's give her water because she's passing out from heat stroke.
But as part of the sanctuary law, they have to present. If they present a
what's up, chatting with Stacks, my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your hump day morning so far. I definitely know that we are. Always appreciate having you in the chat.
Warrant signed by a judge. We got a judge signing this warrant that we're going after so and so in this house.
Oh, see, Steve Posey just laid it all out. It's very true.
Bruh.
So, well, when you're getting paid, it is a job, I guess, right? Protesting is a job. Shit.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Denied.
Then the cops can cooperate. So, okay, we know about this person. We have records. Here's our records that we have of this person. Tell us how we can assist. That is perfectly legal. And clearly DHS does not want to go through the process of getting warrants signed by a judge because of the volume that they're trying to do. They've said they've gotten 1,500 folks so far in Operation Midway Blitz. So it's hard to get a warrant for 1,500 individuals. And they don't, by law, they don't have to do it.
Okay. Okay, I think I've seen enough of this shit. Let's see if there's any other, different things they capture up here. Probably not. Just a whole bunch of them just loitering around, doing fucking nothing, just causing a scene, bro. Just civil unrest. All right, so there is something that came out yesterday that caught my eye this morning that I definitely wanted to present. And it's a really quick story. It's only like 2 minutes. When they're breaking news stories, they're usually just saying what is happening and there's nothing else. They don't bring on people to talk about it yet or any of that because it's breaking. Anyways, so airports refused to play Noam video blaming Democrats for shutdown. I don't think that they should be involved in talking about politics. The airports are not to be fucking the ones telling you guys about politics. I just don't understand. Real quick, I gotta fix my fucking camera. My camera does this once in a while where it lags. Let me fix that real quick. No, that didn't do it. There we go. All right, we're fixed. We're good. Boom, boom, boom. Government shutdown, huh? Yeah, that's right, Raccoonius. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Shit.
Right now, you are taking a live look over Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport there in Atlanta, and the world's busiest airport joining the growing list of major U.S. airports refusing to play a video message from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem blaming Democrats for the federal government shutdown.
Yeah, they shouldn't do that. I honestly, even though it works against my side by saying that, I don't think they they have any jurisdiction to really be talking about that kind of shit. And I don't think the government needs to be going in there and pointing the finger. I think that enough of us are clued in to understand who's in the right and who's in the wrong, who actually shut down the government, and not the bullshit narrative that the left would love for you to think, because that is exactly what it is. It's just lies. If you look at the voting pattern, every single Republican voted to keep the fucking government open, and with the exception of like 2 or maybe 3 fucking Democrats, they all voted to shut it down. So I really don't know what to say about it. It's just the proof is in the pudding.
I want to bring in Tyler Fingert at our Fox 5 Atlanta team, joining us live with much more on that.
Good morning.
Tyler, thanks so much for being here. A lot to this.
And Hardwire, my man, always appreciate you too.
Yeah, Josh, good evening to you. As the shutdown stretches on, there is now a struggle over...
Yes, by the way, only today are likes absolutely free to give out to the Insane Wheels channel. Just letting you guys know, it's a big day. So I appreciate your laborious work on hitting that like button.
Screens like these at TSA checkpoints from coast to coast. You can see there are multiple in this one here at Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. This afternoon, Atlanta airport officials joined a growing list of...
Exactly, SST. I definitely agree with you on
airports who say they will not air a new message from the Department of Homeland Security.
Hi, I'm Christine Ohm.
And that is also true. They both voted to keep the fucking Epstein shit from coming out. You know, they both sides can agree on some shit like that. I'll tell you what, the left and the right can absolutely 1000% agree on every time is fucking the taxpayer. That's it. That is it. That they are pros at that shit.
Secretary of Homeland Security.
As the government shutdown continues, a new video from Homeland Security Secretary has come under fire as Secretary Kristi Noem blames it all on Democrats.
It is TSA's top priority to make sure that you have the most pleasant and efficient airport experience as possible while we keep you safe.
What's up, Zip Time, my man? Great to see you in the building. Hopefully you're enjoying your hump day morning so far.
However, Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government.
The video, which federal officials want played at TSA checkpoints, faces pushback. Tuesday, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport announced the video would not be played on its...
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't think it should be played. Hey, real quick, Papa Penguin, he had to add the spicy brown cinnamon ring. Not just a brown cinnamon ring, but it's got to be spicy. This motherfucker.
Video screens at checkpoints. In a statement, the airport said it, quote, strives to maintain a neutral and welcoming environment for all travelers. And
good on them, actually. Good on them. And now actually stay on that. When it's, you know, when it can work for your side, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. When it works for your side, you need to stay neutral in that moment too. Just not because it's against your narrative. Just so you know, you need to stay neutral now on everything, not just this.
Quote, Atlanta joins a growing list of airports that won't air the video. Some of those airports reportedly include Phoenix, Seattle, and New York. Airport officials across the country have cited multiple reasons for refusing, from concerns about its political content to potential violations of federal law, including the Hatch Act. Andra Gillespie is an Emory University political scientist.
They're just basically saying, we don't think that this is a legitimate order, and so we're not going to follow it because we think she is violating federal law.
While several airports pointed to the Hatch Act in their reasoning for not playing the video, Atlanta did not.
I 100% agree with this, Sterling. Keep propaganda out of transportation. There's no need for any type of political talk, actually, in, you know, from the government giving out a fucking message or whatever, from the right explaining the situation. No, they don't need to get involved in any of this shit. I really honestly think that for the majority of these people don't fucking actually care unless they're absolutely getting inconvenienced. Now, I would say that it would only cause problems in transportation when we bring politics involved.
The Hatch Act is a 1939 statute designed to prevent federal employees from using their positions to influence elections or how government programs are administered.
So she might argue that she's trying to couch this in policy.
Oh, Mark, fucking Atlanta definitely is a shithole. I've been there. I went and visited Black Dragon last summer, and we didn't just stay in the little area that he's at. I went exploring, you know, and it's definitely a rough city.
And so therefore she's just pointing the blame where she sees that it lies. But I think other people could interpret this as being excessively partisan.
And back out here live at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta. These screens, just like at many airports, are owned by airport officials and the airport authority and not the TSA. So that means the airport, like here in Atlanta, can control what is on it. At this point, it's unclear if there could be any retaliation because of this decision, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, Josh.
What's up, Bree Rodriguez? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. We're going to move on real quick because that was the end of that. I told you guys it was fairly short, but I kept talking. Another very short story that came out yesterday regarding visas revoked over Charlie Kirk comments. Let's go ahead and see what the hell this is all about. This will be definitely interesting. This was breaking news yesterday.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 637 on the East Coast and 337 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next several hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events.
How come every time that we're talking about a certain place, Sterling's like, oh yeah, I'm there right now. I'm here right now. This is what it's like to be a trucker, man.
It's from across the country and across the world. Right now, I do want to get you to a breaking story that we are following here with the Department of State, as the Trump administration has revoked the visas of 6 foreigners deemed by U.S. officials to have made divisive comments or made light of the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The State Department said that it determined they should lose their visas after reviewing their online...
Shit, you never have to apologize. We've got Two-Wheel Jesus in here. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning. So real quick, the State Department comes out. The United States has no obligation to host foreigners who wish death on Americans. The State Department continues to identify visa holders who celebrated the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk. Here are just a few examples of aliens who are no longer welcome in the U.S.
Social media posts and clips about Kirk, who was killed as he spoke at Utah College, Utah Valley University there, back on September 10th. The announcement came as President Trump was posthumously awarding him America's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. At Kirk's funeral in September, Trump called him, quote, a great American hero and martyr for freedom. The administration said its supporters have those who don't support him have targeted people for their comments about Kirk, leading to firings or other discipline of journalists, teachers, and others, and raising free speech concerns. Right there, you can see the actual post itself from the State Department.
Are you guys specifically talking about the smart glasses from Meta or whatever, the Meta glasses?
It says the United States has no obligation to host foreigners who wish death on Americans. The State Department continues to identify visa holders who celebrated the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk. Here are just a few examples of aliens who are no longer welcome in the U.S. Again, they did post that there on their social media, making this announcement a short time ago. The 6 foreigners who had their visas revoked were from Argentina, Brazil, Germany, Mexico, and South Africa. They were not identified, though. Trump and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, quote, will defend our borders, our culture, and our citizens by enforcing our immigration laws. That is according to the State Department and a statement released. They also said, quote, aliens who take advantage of America's hospitality while celebrating.
Well, yeah, I mean, if they're not actual Americans and we're talking about illegals, you know, and then they're celebrating it in our own country, then yeah, get the fuck out.
Celebrating the assassination of our citizens will be removed. Vice President J.D. Vance and other top U.S. officials encourage people to call out offensive language about Kirk that they see online. In an unusual tweet last month, Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau asked social media users to copy him on any relevant...
And yes, that is, I forget what they call it. It's not the president. Is it the prime minister of, is that what they call it over there for Argentina? I can't remember. Anyways, yes, that is the, I believe it was 80 billion or 20 billion. I can't remember. It was one or the other. But yes, Miss Lotus.
Post saying that he was personally, quote, disgusted to see some on social media praising rational.
But I was saying the prime minister showed up yesterday at the White House. That's what I was going to say. Sorry, I didn't complete my sentence.
Or making light of the event, and have directed our consular officials to undertake appropriate action, end quote. In addition to Tuesday's action, the administration...
What's up, Defnot? Great to see you in the chat, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning so far.
Administration has ramped up efforts to identify and potentially expel thousands of foreigners in the U.S., notably students, who it says have either fomented or taken part in...
20 billion. Okay, I knew that when I said 80 billion, that may not be the number, so that made more sense.
Unrest or publicly supported protests against Israel's military operations in Gaza. The administration has also denied visas to...
Well, he definitely kissed the wall in his first term if you're talking about Trump. All right, let's go into the bomb. So yesterday, this is also from yesterday. As you guys know, I I only stream 1 hour per 24 hours. So shit can happen 12 hours ago. That was yesterday, or, whatever. And unfortunately, I wasn't live to show it. So we have another thing that happened yesterday. Bomb threat forces hospital to evacuate in Washington State. Another fairly quick story. Interesting, though. Let's go and figure this out together.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, and I do want to take you out to some breaking news out of Washington. This is about an hour outside of Seattle. Let's take you to look at this post coming in from Fox 13 Seattle. They say authorities evacuated 21 patients inside the Swedish hospital at Mill Creek after a, quote,
Swedish hospital in Seattle?
Suspicious device was found in the building. As of right now, all of this information is just coming in. Now, this is the Swedish hospital, as I mentioned, in Mill Creek, evacuated after that suspicious device was found inside of the building. The sheriff's office there posting to Facebook about the incident sometime around 2:45 p.m. local time. Authorities said patients were being evacuated from the hospital, which is located on Meridian Avenue South, and taken to other area hospitals. The Washington
Yep, and see, this is why I say fuck America first, all that, that nonsense talk. It's America only. And what I mean by that, and I know Steve Easy knows what I mean by it, but what I mean financially, all of our money should stay within the United States, okay? Like, fuck all the other, like, all you guys that can't figure it out in the other parts of the world, that's none of my fucking business, and nor do I give a shit. I really don't give a shit. If you guys don't get along, I don't give a shit. That's all. But as soon as my money is involved, now I'm forced to be like watching the situation because our money's going to it. You know what I mean? It's very, very frustrating. It should be all of our money go to Americans first. That's it. And just it stays here. It doesn't need to keep leaving our country, bro. It's weakening our dollar. It's doing so many things. We got Panelverse in the building, by the way. Appreciate you, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. Hit the like button on the way in, everybody. Let's get the likes up. We got Aaron Olinger, by the way. He is a fantastic, fantastic voice. You guys are going to hear him tonight on the Diamond Effect. It is Wednesday, so every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have Aaron and AB and myself that are on a show called Diamond Effect. Make sure you guys tune in for that tonight. And he is one of the hosts. He brings the heat, man. So make sure you guys come in for that. Anyways, let's get back into this.
Washington State Patrol Bomb Squad responding to that scene and investigating what they call a suspicious device. Now, about 21 patients evacuated and transported from the hospital. The public currently asked to avoid that area. Right now, I do want to take you to some comments that just came in as our...
Yes, sir, Pablo. I'm going to light up with you. I got it. Shit. All right.
Team was out there speaking with some of the folks in the area. This is only about 5 minutes in length, but again, these comments just coming in moments ago.
What is this type of fucking record? Why is this guy just setting down the camera, moving around, and we're watching it?
We told everything about the box that was found, exactly what was
Get set up.
I say it was located on the exterior of the building.
Parking lot area. I mean, I guess most of it is parking lot area.
It's in here, the entrance.
What's that bird light to have to?
That's really interesting, definitely.
Patients get them into new facilities.
It is a burden, but I will say our entire team and all the stakeholders responded very quickly. We got
I can't hear them. See, this is what happens when they're breaking it on the fucking... And they don't have anybody that has a clue on how audio works and shit. It's just super frustrating. I'd like to be able to hear this conversation. Let me see if I put the captions on. What's up, GEG? Good morning.
Our major priority was to keep our caregivers safe, keep our physicians and providers safe, of course, as well as the patients, so figuring out a plan.
Really can't hear shit. What a terrible job these guys did. You guys might as well have not even shown up. Fox shouldn't even shown up on the scene because you can't. This is unwatchable. Let me skip ahead. Can't hear shit. Okay.
This appears to be...
There we go. Let's get the end right here.
Really quickly so we can get a better look. It essentially says sweeps are killing people. This appears...
Okay, so I guess there's a protest going on at the same time?
Appears to be essentially a gathering here, a protest with maybe a dozen or so people. As they move it over, we'll be able to get a better look, but it does appear that the crew out there is essentially talking about fracking. It says frack off PSE. So, yeah,
frack
if we get
off.
any more on what this is about, we'll bring it to you, but we always do get these live...
That's very... gay. very, very gay.
Why are you gay?
Definitely gay. All right, moving on. Reactions. Oh, actually, let me read. That's one thing I did want to do is I actually wanted to read what it said under there. It says a hospital in Mill Creek, Washington was evacuated due to a suspicious device found inside the building. 21 patients were relocated to other hospitals as authorities investigate the device. The Washington State Patrol Bomb Squad is responding to the scene and investigating the suspicious device. The public is advised to avoid the area while the Washington State Patrol Bomb Squad responds. This comes after a different explosive device was discovered inside a backpack in Kent, Washington earlier in the morning. Police said the Port of Seattle Bomb Squad neutralized and disposed of the homemade explosive after a concerned citizen brought it to the Kent police station. What? Holy shit, that's fucking a little wild. All right, so we have one last thing that happened yesterday that we're going to play right now is regarding the Venezuela drug boats. We have another story. This happened yesterday, I believe sometime maybe yesterday evening. But before we get into it real quick, I do have a PayPal that I got to thank. We got Bree Rodriguez sending in a $5 donation saying, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Let me fix my camera again. Damn it. See this? All right, boom. We're fixed. Boom. All right, we're good. Thank you, Bree Rodriguez. Thank you for the $5 donation. Very much appreciate that. All right, let's get into it.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 8:36 on the East Coast and 5:36 on the West Coast. President Trump saying the U.S. has struck another vessel carrying drugs off the coast of Venezuela. Trump posted this video on Truth Social of the strike, saying that 6 male narco-terrorists were killed in that strike.
Damn, 6 of them got killed in this one.
The president did have a message alongside that video here as you watch kind of everything play out in that unclassified video. You see his message there. He says, under my standing authorities as commander-in-chief, this morning, the Secretary of War ordered a lethal kinetic strike on a vessel affiliated with a designated terrorist organization conducting narco trafficking in the U.S. Southcom area of responsibility just off the coast of Venezuela. Intelligence confirmed the vessel was trafficking narcotics, was associated with illicit narco-terrorist networks, and was transiting along a known DTO.
Yes, make sure you let Lee know that we all love him. Hopefully he's doing well.
Route. The strike was conducted in international waters, and 6 male narco-terrorists aboard the vessel were killed in the strike. No U.S. forces were harmed. Thank you for your attention to...
Got him. They definitely got denied.
Denied.
Shit. What's up? We got Dragon Classy in the building, by the way. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
This matter. Again,
and real quick, let's make sure you guys get the likes up. I very much appreciate that. Your laborious work on hitting that like button is definitely appreciated.
President Trump posting that on Truth Social. I want to discuss all of this, the implications, and really where we stand with this.
Boom,
Glenn Ignacio is a retired special operations commander and a national security expert. Thank you so much for taking the time, as always, to join us here.
Absolutely. Good to see you, Josh.
And Glenn, I did want to start by asking you here about maybe the legal authority that the U.S. does have when it comes to this, because that's a topic that has been brought up quite a bit over the past several weeks as we've seen these boats struck and the video released.
This is actually a fantastic question Josh just proposed. I want to hear this.
Yeah, it comes underneath.
This is one, I guess, a national security expert. I've never really seen him on this program before, so I really can't tell you one way or the other what I think about dude. But I do want to hear it.
Authority to use of military force, which was actually established after 9/11. And what it did was it basically presented that any organization, a terrorist organization, can be attacked appropriately or as required. It's just like what we've seen some of these terrorists that are taken out in Yemen, Iraq, Afghanistan, and other places in the world.
No kidding, Miss Lotus. And believe it or not, me too. I want to know how they got the intel on that boat particularly has that shit. Like, do you have video of this shit being loaded onto it? Like, what's your evidence here?
So when the terrorist organization
and if you blow it completely up to smithereens, how do you know how much drugs there was if you blew it all up? You blew up the evidence. So how do you even know it?
when the cartels
I agree.
were identified as a terrorist organization, this use of military force has authorized that to take action against them. So that's what gives the legal precedent about it. And I know there's a lot of battles back and forth, but outside the politics, that's really what it stood on. And as long as it's in international waters, they're able to take that action.
That's what I was going to ask you about, the international waters portion. But what rules of engagement are likely enforced for things like maritime interdiction operations? And again, you're looking at that video right there on your screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
6 people on this one, Miss Lotus. 6 people died on this one.
So in the international waters, it's basically, you sort of open water. It's not in a particular zone or area that's declared by a certain country. Certain countries, it's usually 12 or maybe even 25 miles offshore that they count.
And that is very true, Steve Posey. Sad but true. It is above my pay grade.
As their territory or territory.
But I do my best to try to figure it out.
It's not in that case. That's where they're able to take particular action, and so that's what they've done. The use of military force or the rules of engagement. So for them to put a weapon on target, which is what they're doing, there'd have to be the clear intent, which would be the drugs being taken into the United States, and then it would be actually identifying and verifying that these are members of that particular terrorist organization, basically the cartel.
Right. Right.
How might a U.S. strike?
I like this guy's take so far. I think he's pretty damn level-headed in this shit.
Like in or near the Venezuelan maritime zones influence U.S.-Venezuelan relations? Because that's something that's also been questioned as to whether or not there could be an issue there between the U.S. and Venezuela as this is happening.
Yeah, as right now, we don't.
Zip Tie, always appreciate you. Make sure you get your charge on, cub. Make sure you get that charge on. Hopefully, we'll see you in a little bit. Much love and honor, respect.
Have a really good relationship with Venezuela, as we've heard and seen. And so what happens is if, again, it is closer to, or Venezuela feels that they're being threatened, like their airspace or their territorial waters are going to be threatened, where naval forces or air forces are too close to that territory. So that could escalate things where they may respond. But that would be the worst thing, is if closer it is to Venezuela or any other country, that's where it gets a little bit dicey. And so that's why they're staying more in international waters. But like I said, if we got close to those territorial waters or got close to the actual airspace, that's when things would be where.
And SST, you're very correct on that.
Venezuela may respond to try to protect their country. And those are the things that you have to worry about. And you don't want to trigger anything in the future.
Does this have any sort of implications when you talk about the military and the broader aspect of all of this, when you're looking at counterterrorism operations, counter narcotics operations? Does this kind of paint a picture of that and apply more broadly?
Well, it's definitely different because now we've gotten into the targeting of these narcotic or cartels, because it's been different. It's usually been against specific terrorists, as we've seen strikes in Yemen and so forth, in the historically, excuse me. But this has been done by both political parties in different parts of the world over the years. So the idea that it's tying it to the narco terrorists is a different organization. So that's about the only, I would say, variance compared to anything we've done.
And I do agree with this, by the way, Steve. If there truly is like fent on this fucking boat right now that's about to go kill a whole bunch of fucking people, then yeah, but I would like to have the fucking evidence of how you know that. Like, how do you know that? I just would like it. We got Naomi in the building, by the way, saying, been resting. Yes. Hopefully you've been enjoying your morning as well. Great to see you. Happy hump day. We definitely got to make you guys obey.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Yeah, SST, fentanyl actually a lot of it comes from China, then goes to Canada, then comes through our northern border. True. One thing that you up there in Canadian land, you guys are famous for up there, is your MDMA. You definitely got the best MDMA of all time. And I wonder if you guys manufacture that there, or do you guys get it from China too? I don't know the pipeline of that. You're gonna have to let me know.
With terrorists and other parts.
If you know, you're not SST. I don't know if you're Canadian or not, but I'm just saying.
So basically, they're just drug runners that are running drugs into the United States that's killing Americans, versus being an explosion or a terrorist action that, say, somebody in a foreign organization did before. So it really rolls it into one. It's the same thing legally, but it's a little bit of a different change because now it's against the drug cartels.
What about the level of transparency that's required? We have seen Secretary Pete Hegseth, as well as President Trump, posting these videos and actually letting us know maybe an hour or two after.
Yeah, I saw it on the White House page on Instagram about an hour and a half after it happened yesterday.
After the strikes happened. So what level of transparency is really needed in a situation like this?
Gary.
Well, I think this is something that's different, where a lot of strikes you've seen in the past would maybe be released as far as a text or a post. But the idea of being able
It's a sad. Fentanyl is definitely one of those touchy subjects for sure, because I think that majority of people know someone within their own family, you know what I mean, that have unfortunately died on this terrible, terrible fucking substance. Yeah, so that's where I definitely agree with what Steve Easy says. Anyone that is selling or bringing in or shipping in this shit and killing our own people, that's like fucking war, And so I definitely do say FAFO, fuck around, find out, and they deserve it, right? But it would be nice to definitely have the proof of it.
It'll show that this is what's going on. I think that is transparent. Again, apolitical in the approach. But the idea that they're being able to show this and that this is happening, the biggest thing that would be important is that you're protecting the soldiers, sailors, airmen, whatever it may be, the resources and the source of information or intelligence. Those are protected. So that would be the limit to the transparency. But this is different than what we've seen in other things that are outside of warfare. So, I mean, it's presented to the American people that action's being taken. But that's the best way I would say to put it right now.
My last question for you here, is this a sign that we are going to see more and more of these happening to where they do become kind of the norm?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think that this is definitely an action that's taken.
Oh, that's very interesting. Papa Penguin says, from my understanding, is fent precursors is coming in from China. The cook happens in North America. That's very, very interesting. And SST real quick says, agreed. Let's just see the payload that they always like to parade in front of the cameras. True. I definitely agree with that. All right, so we're gonna move on from this. We got enough of a discussion out of that, so you guys know it happened. We're gonna move into another ordeal. LA County approves emergency declaration over ICE raids. I'm not really sure what they mean by emergency declaration over the ICE raids, so we're going to find that out together. This is only a 2-minute clip. It's very, very, very quick, and we're going to run it on 1.25 anyways. So,
and welcome back, everyone.
We'll find out.
Live now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page, as we continue to bring you some of the day's biggest top stories and headlines. Our next story takes us out to L.A. and L.A. County today voting to declare a state of emergency that gives them power to provide assistance for residents they say have suffered financially from ongoing federal immigration raids. The move allows the LA County Board of Supervisors to provide rent relief for tenants who have fallen behind as a result of the crackdown on immigrants.
What? If you're legally here, you have nothing to fear. How could you possibly, you're just scared to go outside because there's guys getting arrested outside that are illegal? You're not illegal. So why aren't you going to work? Unless I do know, for instance, I can attest to one thing. There is a lot of Mexican restaurants that probably have a lot of, undocumented people, aliens, you know what I mean? And those jobs could be affected because maybe their people have gotten snatched and now there's not enough, or they don't have business to that particular area because it was primarily focused on Mexicans. That part, I definitely could see that part being true. But those are super nuanced things. Everybody else, go to your job. I mean, what are you scared of?
Raids that ramped up over the summer have spread fear in immigrant communities, prompting many to limit their outings. Federal agents have rounded up immigrants without legal status to be in the U.S. from Home Depots, car washes, bus stops, and farms. Some U.S. citizens have also been detained. The local state of emergency can also funnel state money for legal aid and other services. So, it was just a matter of time, though, before an ICE representative would respond to this. And we do have the statement that we want to bring to you here on Live Now from Fox. Fox News' Bill Malugin putting this out. This is an ICE statement to Fox News from the ICE spokesperson. And here it is. The only state of emergency is the one the residents...
I like what Papa Penguin says right here. Businesses are struggling due to the lack of illegal labor. Funny that they are finally admitting it. That's very, very true. That is pretty damn funny. and ironic.
Of Los Angeles face after electing officials who give a middle finger to the law. Perhaps the board should supervise funds to support law-abiding fire victims who still haven't recovered instead of criminal illegal aliens seeking refuge in their sanctuary city. While they publicly fearmonger, I would be shocked if they didn't agree with ICE removing a child rapist from their neighborhood. So that is the response from ICE, and we will wait and see what some other responses are from this big move from LA County that will be trying to help those that feel they don't want to leave their homes because of the ongoing ICE raids. And
they don't want to go to work. Oh, now I can use this as an excuse to get paid by the government. And yeah, it's typical bullshit. We're moving on, though. IDF, regards to Israel-Hamas. IDF comes out with something, and it's labeled body released by Hamas not missing hostage. I'm not really sure what that means. Body released by Hamas not missing hostage. So I guess a picture, maybe it was a false body.
We want to turn now to some breaking news on this Wednesday. Taking a look here at your screen at a social media post from Israel Defense Forces saying this: following the completion of examinations at the National Institute of Forensic Medicine, the fourth body handed over to Israel by Hamas does not match any of the hostages.
Oh, wow. That's fucking... So four dead bodies handed over as the... there was 29 dead hostages that they need to return, and they've returned 4, and all 4 of them, the fourth body handed... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. I thought it meant like all 4 bodies so far. No. Okay, just this particular one. The fourth body handed over by Israel by Hamas does not match any of the hostages. Hamas is required to make all necessary efforts to return the deceased hostages. Interesting.
Hamas is required to make all necessary efforts to return the deceased hostages.
W chat, man.
Taking
you
us
guys
out
are
to this
awesome.
live image that we have over at Hostages Square in Tel Aviv, Israel, as I refer back to more of this breaking news reporting. So 4 bodies were handed over by Hamas on Tuesday to ease pressure on the ceasefire following an earlier 4 on Monday that came hours after the last 20 living hostages were released. In all, Israel has been waiting for the return of the bodies of 28 deceased hostages. Israel, which released around 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees on Monday, is also handing over bodies of Palestinians under the deal. It's a step awaited by many families in Gaza whose relatives went missing during the war. The military said...
I like that, Crystal. W Crystal, that's a W comment for the day, saying, and ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we should be calling them illegal immigrants anymore. We should start calling them travelers without authority to say twats. Yes, I like that. W comment of the day. And by the way, W to the chat as well. You guys matched the likes, man. I very much appreciate you getting the likes up.
That quote... After the examinations at the National Institute of Forensic Medicine, the fourth body handed over to Israel by Hamas does not match any of the hostages. There was no immediate word on whose body it was. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu demanding...
It wasn't just an hour after the ceasefire. It happened a day after. And yes, they brought out like 7 or 8 different people, or I think it was something like that. And they did it right there in Gaza City. And they had a whole bunch of Palestinians in a circle looking at and watching these guys on their knees, tied up, looking head down, and got blasted, right? That did happen.
Earlier Wednesday that Hamas fulfilled the requirements laid out in the ceasefire deal introduced by President Trump about returning the hostage's body, saying, quote, "We will not compromise on this and will not stop our efforts until we return the last deceased hostage until..."
And also their claim on that for the public executions the claims were that those people, whether they're Palestinians or whatever the case is, they were working with basically the IDF, given intel, shit like that. And so that's why they did that.
The last one. I want to also showcase this live image that we have coming out of Khan Yunis there in Gaza. So the U.S. proposed ceasefire plan had called for all hostages, living and dead, to be handed over by a deadline that expired on Monday. But under the deal, if that does not happen, Hamas was to share information about deceased hostages and try to hand over all of them as soon as possible. This is not the first time Hamas has returned a wrong body to Israel. Earlier this year, during a previous ceasefire, the group said it handed over the bodies of Shiri Bibas and her 2 sons. Israelis endured another moment of agony when testing showed that one of the bodies returned was identified as a Palestinian woman. Bibas's body was returned a day later and positively identified. Hamas and the Red Cross have said that recovering the remains of dead hostages was a challenge because of Gaza's vast destruction.
Yeah, I mean, no joke. After they die, you don't have to feed them. You don't have to do anything to keep them alive anymore. So now you just kind of put them off into a corner in the tunnels of Gaza. Dude, you lose track of these people. It's not like they have air tags on these fucking guys. Guarantee you not. So yeah, it's going to be fucking hard to find these bodies. So they're like rushing to just get whatever body that kind of looks like it or whatever.
And Hamas has told mediators of the truce that some are in areas controlled by Israeli.
Don't know. It happened on the last ceasefire that she said. And I actually didn't know that, by the way. I never heard that report, but I'm not surprised.
Troops. So we'll continue to bring all of this latest information here at Live Now from Fox. But again, the Associated Press and the breaking news that we have to share with you at this time. And I want to bring back this post on social media from the Israeli Defense Forces, in which they said this: following the completion of examinations at the National Institute of Forensic Medicine, the 4th body handed over to Israel by Hamas does not match any.
And we already read that, so we don't need to hear what she was saying at the end there. Pablo, yes, they are really poor at keeping their ends of the deal too. Historically, that's the way it's always been. All right, we're going to move into another thing that happened only 3 hours ago. Hegseth, NATO remarks, firepower coming for Ukraine. So let's go ahead and bring this up. This will be important for us to cover, and we'll get to it now.
I really want to welcome Pete Hegseth here to NATO again, to the defense ministers meeting. This will be an important meeting because we had a successful summit in The Hague, and there is now much more cash on the table. There is firepower coming out of our defense industry, which is so important, and we are doing everything collectively to keep Ukraine strong. But I particularly want to thank President Trump and you personally for your leadership and the whole team for the fact that NATO is now much stronger, more lethal, but it is also fairer.
Fuck NATO.
Because we know that since President Eisenhower, there was this constant irritant that, yes, NATO was there, the US was committed, but also had a clear expectation that EU allies and Canada would step up. And we took that historic decision in The Hague, thanks to your leadership, equalizing defense spending on this side of the pond and in Canada with what the US is spending. And I think that's extremely important. And I also want to thank President Trump and you personally again, and of course the whole American leadership team, for the fact that when it comes to Ukraine, you decided to again make sure that they have what they need from the US, paid for by allies, and that program is now running. 2 billion committed so far, and today I expect many new announcements of countries who will participate. So all in all, we are making great progress. Again, thank you so much, Pete, for everything you were doing.
Mark, it's great to see you. Great to see you. Great to be here. And Mark mentioned it, firepower. That's what is coming. We expect it is coming from NATO. And it was a historic summit just a couple of months ago, brought about by the leadership of President Trump to say we need our allies to step up. And they did, and they have, in those commitments. Now those commitments will soon translate into capabilities, which is the most important aspect.
Well, yeah, if you're taking 5% GDP of everybody, essentially, then yeah, of course, that would be, in turn, yes, they get the money and then buy a whole bunch of weapons.
Of it. And one part of that, of course, is Pearl, is the initiative where European countries buy U.S. weapons, transfer to NATO for the fight in Ukraine to bring peace to that conflict. And if there's anything we've learned under President Trump, is the active application of peace through strength. You get peace when you are strong, not when you use.
Which I do agree with that that claim, peace through strength. Absolutely, I do agree with that.
Strong words or wag your finger. You get it when you have strong and real capabilities that adversaries respect. And I believe that's what NATO is doing. I believe that's what the Pearl Initiative is. So our expectation today is that more countries donate even more, that they purchase even more to provide for Ukraine to bring that conflict to a peaceful conclusion. I would also note...
oh, Jesus.
Bruh. Historic moment.
So it's just another one of those, every time NATO comes out, they're just wanting to get more and more money. You know, it's just like any of these other organizations. They're all corrupt. They're all fucked.
As well, for a lot of things to happen, given what the president's been able to do in Gaza and throughout the Middle East. I think the world is seeing that we have a peace president who seeks that peace through standing by those that stand with the United States and stand for peace, which is what we saw there, and I hope we can see in Ukraine. So that's the focus of our efforts. We're going to be strong to bring that about, and thanks for having us.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you much. See you later today at Pressers.
As you heard there from the NATO chief, later on today, we will have some more press conferences that both Secretary Hegseth, Secretary General Rutte, and several other defense ministers will be participating.
Man, I wish I had that clip.
In and answering questions from the press. This does come as NATO's two newest members, Finland and Sweden, said Wednesday that they would buy more weapons from the United States to give to Ukraine.
Wow.
A day after data showed that foreign military aid to the war-torn country had declined sharply in recent months. Now, over the summer, NATO started to coordinate regular deliveries of large weapon packages to Ukraine to help fend off Russia's war. The aim was to send at least one load a month of targeted and predictable military support, each worth about $500 million. Not only did we hear from Secretary Hegseth and NATO Chief Rutte, but we also saw several other defense ministers arriving earlier today. Let's play out some of those remarks.
Nope, we're not doing that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just looked up on the source side to make sure that we're caught up completely, and we are right now. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Diamond Effect. Make sure you guys stick around for that. It's going to be a great time. If I don't see you guys tonight, then of course we'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness as we continue on our truth-seeking adventure. Ladies and gentlemen, also stick around. We're going to be rating you guys over to a guy named John Galt. This guy is a hilarious dude. He lives in D.C. He's a black not business owner, landowner that rents out rooms, and he does this shit live. And he's actually hysterical, bro. It's actually kind of just straight comedy, but it is chaos. It is chaos, but go over there, let them know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid, and have a good-ass time over there as well. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. Always appreciate you guys. All right. Until then, until tonight and tomorrow, we'll see you guys tomorrow for more of the World's Madness as we continue. And much love, honor, respect, everybody. Hopefully you all have a blessed and wonderful day. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning.